Hey everyone, welcome to Mull to 5. I'm JD, and as usual, I'm here playing the jankiest Tier 3 Spicy Rogue brews for your viewing pleasure. First things first, if you enjoy what we do here, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It's a quick and easy way to show your support, and it really helps out the channel. Also, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Main Phase Media. These videos would not be possible without them, so please check them out for all your graphic design and video production needs. And finally, if you have your own janky masterpiece you'd like to see me play, please leave a comment or shoot an email to the address in the description below. And now we'll get straight to the deck tech. And today we are flipping coins and hoping to get lucky. So this deck revolves around a bunch of coin flip cards, which, assuming we do get lucky and win the flips, are actually pretty powerful. So for example, Stitch in Time. It's a 3-mana sorcery. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn after this one. That's very powerful. 3-mana Time Walk. We've also got Molten Birth. Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. Flip a coin. If we win, we get Molten Birth back to our hand, which is great card advantage. We can keep reusing it over and over again and flooding the board with tokens. Arguably the riskiest, but potentially the most powerful one, and the one I'm really hoping we get to use to its full potential, is Fiery Gambit. So this one, we start by flipping the coin once. If we win that first flip, it deals 3 damage to a target creature. And it's worth noting here that in order to actually cast Fiery Gambit, we do need a creature to target. So hopefully that's our opponent's creatures, but if not, we do have, as I mentioned, Molten Birth to create tokens, as well as Young Pyromancer to create tokens. So if necessary, if our opponent's a control deck, they're, a low creature deck, or they just don't happen to have any out at the time, we can target our own tokens, and I will happily sacrifice a token to the power that is Fiery Gambit. So basically, we target a creature, hopefully our opponent's, deals 3 damage to it if we win the first flip. Then we flip it a second time. If we win that flip, Fiery Gambit not only does 3 damage to that creature, but it deals 6 damage to the opponent, which is pretty powerful. Big chunk of their life total. Then we flip it a third time. If we win that flip, we do the 3 damage to the creature, the 6 damage to the opponent, and we draw 9 cards and untap all lands we control, which is insane. Now we have a huge hand. All our lands are untapped. We can then start casting Stitch in Time to take another turn. We can burn them out with Young Lightning Bolt. So it just gets insane. If we win all 3 flips with Fiery Gambit, we basically have won the game at that point. So let's see. Our last coin flip card is modern staple Ral Zarek, a kind of planeswalker we don't see as often, unfortunately. But so this guy, he's 4 mana. He's kind of the top of our curve here. And he comes out with 4 loyalty. His +1, tap target permanent, untap another. So we can either be tapping down blockers to get through with some damage with our Young Pyromancer tokens or whatever it may be. We can be untapping our own creatures to leave them back as a blocker after combat. We can be untapping our lands to hold up mana to be casting a Lightning Bolt or another creature maybe. So his +1's pretty solid. His -2 is basically Lightning Bolt, deals 3 damage to any target, but his ultimate is where we want to be in this deck. If we can get him up to 7 loyalty and get that ultimate off, we're flipping 5 coins and taking an extra turn after this one for each coin that comes up heads. So if we win 3 of the flips, we're taking 3 extra turns, which is insane. 4 or 5 extra turns. So all these cards are great, given that we actually are winning our flips. And so normally coin flips 50-50 shot. It's only going to go in our favor half the time. However, there is a card that changes those odds, and that's called Krark's Thumb, which is going to be crucial to our deck's game plan. So this is an artifact for 2 mana. If you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 and ignore 1. So basically every time we're flipping a coin, we now are flipping 2 and choosing which one we want to keep. So this takes our odds from 50%, just a straight 50-50 shot, to now we're flipping 2 and choosing 1, so it goes to 75% odds in our favor. 50 to 75% is a pretty significant increase. And now all of a sudden these Stitch in Times are fairly, 3 out of 4 times it's going to work for us. These Molten Births are returning to our hands often. We have a good chance to hit with Fiery Gambit, at least to the second coin flip, and hit them for 6 damage. So Crux Thumb, very powerful. The only downside is it's legendary, so we can only have one of them on the field at the same time. Under normal circumstances, which is why I included a one of Mirror Gallery. It's 5 mana, so it's kind of expensive, and we really don't want to see more than one in a game, so I only included one in the deck, but it says the legend rule does not apply. So with a Mirror Gallery out, now we can have 2 or 3 Crux Thumbs, and then our odds of hitting our coin flip cards are just insane. So one of Mirror Gallery to help out our Crux Thumb. Now, again, because Crux Thumb is so crucial, there's only 4 of them in the deck. We need a way to find more if we don't have them. So the first and best way is Muddle the Mixture. This is a double blue instant, which we can just use as a counter spell, counter target instant or sorcery spell. So it has that mode, which is relevant. It's, we can be countering stuff that we don't want our opponent to be doing. But the more important ability for our deck is Transmute. So for 2 blue and 1 colorless, we can now discard this card from our hand and search our library for a card with the same converted mana cost, which is 2, which is exactly what Crux Thumb is. So if we don't have a Crux Thumb, we are using this to find it. If we do have a Crux Thumb, we can now use it as a counterspell. The other way we're kind of digging for what we need is Sleight of Hand. It's a sorcery. We get to look at the top 2, put 1 into our hand and 1 on the bottom. So we're choosing what we want and tucking 1 away that we don't want. So Sleight of Hand helping us dig. Then there's Lightning Bolt. Just an all-around. If we're playing red, you probably want to be playing Bolt. Hits the face to burn them out. It hits opposing creatures we want to get rid of. It's just a great card, modern staple. And finally, to round this all out, along with Young Pyromancer, because we're playing so many instants and sorceries, we've got all these Fiery Gambits, Molten Birth, Stitch in Time, Muddle the Mixture, Bolt, Sleight of Hand. There's so many instants and sorceries. Delver and Young Pyromancer become very good. We're going to be casting them often, so creating lots of tokens, and hopefully Delver will be flipping quickly. The idea is get Delver out turn 1, flip him over turn 2, and start swinging in the air with a 3/2 beater with flying. So Delver's just kind of a good inclusion in a deck like this to give us some extra pressure, to help us get to the point when we can start casting our insane cards. And so that does it for the main deck. We'll just slide over and take a look at the sideboard real quick. Pretty basic. Echoing Truth. Great against any problematic permanents that maybe Lightning Bolt doesn't hit, so bigger creatures. It's great against tokens, because tokens bounce them all back to their owner's hands and they just disappear. It's good against planeswalkers, that sort of thing. Deprive, if it's a combo deck or maybe a Tron deck and they're playing spells that we just have to counter, Deprive is a great hard counter spell, because Muddle the Mixture counters only instants and sorceries. Deprives can counter giant Karn in a Tron deck, or it can stop our combo opponent from comboing off, that sort of thing. Shattering Spree against artifact-based decks. Electrolyze against kind of any go-wide, smaller creature weenie-based decks. It deals 2 damage divided up among as we choose, and it cycles itself to draw a card. So this is just a great value card, assuming we have the right targets. Relic of Progenitus for graveyard-based decks, and against burn decks and things of that sort, we have Dragon's Claw, which can be searched up with Muddle the Mixture, which is convenient, but this says whenever a player casts a red spell, we may gain 1 life, so this will keep us alive long enough to start going off against, say, a really fast burn deck. And it also helps that we are playing red as well, so we're gaining life both when we play our red spells and when our opponent plays theirs. So that basically wraps up the deck tech. So we are going to we're going to try out this pile of cards in a friendly modern league and see how we do. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. This should be a lot of fun. So I will see you in the first match.